So that's a story in itself. Now, I was like, I have not heard about this word storytelling in so many years of my life. You come from a place, Bangalore, which is called the capital of storytelling. And you hadn't heard about storytelling. Kids nowadays love cooking. So it is a big hit. Hi, my name is Arumugam. Okay. Would it be interesting enough for them to come? He is like my alter ego. They'd never seen something like this. And there's pin drop silence. She was there, the house full.
Hi everybody, welcome to Tantrums to Triumphs, episode 2. Today we are here with Seema Karanth, who is a storyteller from Bangalore. She has swapped her MBA and corporate career to become a storyteller. She's known for her elaborate props, puppets, flair for dramatics. She makes every story come to life. From libraries to lit fests, from schools to colleges and also corporate events, she brings stories to life with fun, facts and fictions. Whether it's teachers, kids or professionals, she loves sharing stories with everybody. Let's make her talk today and understand what she has to share with us and inspire us with her stories. Welcome Seema, welcome to Kids Adda.
Hi Deepthi.
So nice to have you here. I know you did the story potpourri session recently at Kids Adda and it was a super hit. All the kids and parents loved it.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity, and it was a pleasure, a real pleasure to do it there.
Awesome. Yes. So let's start with knowing a little bit about you. Mm-hmm. What is your background and how did stories come into play?
Okay, so that's a story in itself. You see, I have been in, or rather I was in the corporate career. I was with an airline industry for 18 years. I worked as a customer relations person, ended up being the regional head of the, South India. And then with some losses, the departments changed. I took up market research. I did a lot of things, but then there was a point in life when I decided that, it was not working for me and I wanted to do something different, something meaningful, though I did not have a clue as to what that would be.
We've all been there.
We've all been there, right?
Yeah.
And so it was at that point when I had quit and I was trying to look for something that I could do. It just happened that I came to know about storytelling, and it was just by coincidence. A friend just happened to call and say that her neighbor was doing storytelling in Gurgaon, and I said, "Hey, storytelling, that sounds interesting." And the next day, I happened to see an article in the paper about storywalas.
Okay. Yes.
And I was like, storywalas is very famous, and I was like, "Oh, okay, there's something more." And the next day, I went to my yoga center. And my yoga guru, he was telling about some course where they were doing personality development using stories. Okay. Now, I was like, I have not heard about this word storytelling in so many years of my life. And suddenly, in a day span, in a day or two, I can see 3 people or from 3 sources.
The universe is talking to you.
Universe is talking to me. Universe is telling me a story which I didn't know existed. Yeah. And so it happened and I began to research on it and it really called me. Being a customer relations person, communication was never a problem. Mm-hmm. And I've always been a reader. So that too helped. But it took me almost a year or so to to really get into the field. Is it worth taking it up? Because when I told this to my relatives, my family, they were like, storytelling, kate kelake yaradru ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಾ? Do they pay you for it? Can that be a profession? It can be a hobby, but can it be a profession? But I decided to go ahead, and I really wanted, whenever I take up something, there's a lot of research that goes into it. So I thought, let me train myself first. Although one doesn't need training to tell stories, it comes naturally. Yeah. But there has to be a method and there has to be something. Yeah. So I enrolled myself into a program from Kathalaya, which is a very famous institute in Bangalore. And that's how I started my storytelling career.
Fantastic. That's such a wonderful story in itself, like you said.
Yes.
When was this? Like, how long ago did you dive into
Almost 10 years back.
Okay.
Almost 10 years back.
Yeah.
And I remember a friend telling me that you hail from a country that talks about stories. I mean, that is the capital of storytelling. You come from a place, Bangalore, which is called the capital of storytelling. And you
Wow.
hadn't heard about storytelling. You
Yeah.
know, that is, yes. And when you think back, yes, but it was it took me time to
Yeah.
get into the whole thing.
Yes, yes, I totally understand. There's so many stories that people love to hear, and they don't know of a lot of stories, our folk tales, and you know, the culture that we come from. There is some really good stories with great morals that
Yes.
can be you know, shared with
Yes,
people.
Yes.
So I know you do storytelling for everybody, corporates, schools,
yes,
colleges.
yes.
How do you work with your story to ensure that they are you know, it is adapted to various kinds of audience?
I think that's the first thing that any storyteller has to do. Suit your stories to match the audience,
Yeah.
isn't it? So, especially as adults, we seem to think in a particular way. We like some things and we like telling some things, but the modern day child may not connect with it.
Correct.
So if you're doing it for children, it has to be a certain way. If it has to be adults, it has to be. So a lot of research goes into the whole thing.
Yeah.
And even amongst children, what is their background? What is their age group?
Yeah.
Where do they come from? Where are we doing it?
So you collect all this
all
data
this
before.
information. Yes. Otherwise, it will not work.
So has there been scenario where you prepared for something, but when you went there, you had to change?
Generally, that doesn't happen.
Happen,
I mean,
okay.
you know, but there are times when we realize, you know, that even in spite of being prepared, doesn't work.
Exactly,
You know, so
yeah.
I think we learn through mistakes as it happens.
Absolutely.
Now, recently, I had been to an event in Chennai, and where the audience were school children. So I had prepared my story accordingly. And I started off with the story. The story was about a chef. Actually, it's a very favorite story of mine of how Vikas Khanna went on to become a chef.
Oh, okay.
And kids nowadays love cooking. So it is a big hit. And so normally what I do is when I'm sharing a story, I set in a context.
Mhm.
Okay. And that happens through my puppet. And I have this puppet. I have with me. Can I
Yeah,
show
sure,
it to you?
please.
Yes.
I
So-
know you're popular with puppets. Yes.
See, you see, it happened during COVID that when you had to do sessions, different sessions,
Oh.
every day after day online, I decided there need to be some connect.
Yeah.
So this is, hi, my name is Armugam. Okay. So this is Armugam and he sets my context. Now, for example, if he's coming for the interview, I would say, hey, Deepthi, you know something? I am so looking forward to meeting you. Can I give a shake? You know, can you give me a handshake?
Oh, wow.
Okay, Seema, are you ready for the interview? Oh, I think there's a little bit of lipstick on your. Oh, okay. You know, some context.
Wow.
So I'm not a ventriloquist,
Yeah.
but I use him to set the context.
Okay, so that is your mascot.
That is my mascot.
Okay.
Now, in this Chennai session, I got him, and since the story was about a cook, a
Mhm.
chef, I got it in such a way that Armugam is thinking of opening a restaurant. And
Okay.
I tell him, hey Armugam, the only thing you can cook is Maggie. And you want to open a restaurant? And, you know, when I did the story in Bangalore, I did it at Rangashankaram.
Yeah.
And the children were like, Maggie is good. You know, we don't mind having a restaurant with just Maggie.
Yeah.
But when I did it there, the joke didn't work. The children were blank. They
Okay.
didn't smile, they didn't laugh. I didn't understand. Of course, I went on to share the story, and the story went well.
Yeah.
But I felt that the punch in the beginning, you know, it didn't click.
Yeah.
Maggie is a hit with any
Child, yeah.
Later on, I realized that the school which was supposed to send the children could not send, and therefore they had sent some children from a nearby orphanage. And those children had not, you know, for them, Maggie is not common.
Luxury.
It's a luxury. They have not eaten it before.
Oh no.
And so it didn't work.
Oh no.
If had I known that this is the background of the children,
Yeah.
I would have probably changed. I wouldn't have said Maggie. I would have said, okay, I'll make something
Something
else
else,
that is more
yeah.
attractive to them.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
something
yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
So that is what happens. So
I
you
know,
need
and
to
life
know-
happens,
Yes.
right? Things generally don't go according to what we plan,
Yes,
and
yes,
things
yes,
change, and we
yes.
need to be
We
dynamic.
make mistakes. So next time I'm like, okay, I need to be more careful
Yeah.
in finding out which audience it belongs to.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh wow, that is that's a very good life lesson there
Yes.
for everybody, for adults, for children, for
Yes.
everybody. That you go expecting something, but it may not be that. But then
Yes, you carry
just
on.
be in that minute, in that moment, and think what you can do better.
Yes, adapting.
It happens to
Yes,
everybody.
yes.
So tell me a little bit about our Armugam. How did he? How did the whole inception of Armugam happen?
So you see, I run book clubs for children.
Mhm.
So once a week, we got around in a place where we could meet, and we would read some books. I'll share stories if it's smaller children, older kids. We read from a book through a month. We read one book, and that was how it was happening. Now, when COVID happened and we had to get things online, the dynamics changed, right?
Yeah.
So I was not sure if I could connect with children online. Now, when I'm reading in front, I'm showing a book, I'm showing the illustrations, we're talking, there is cross talk happening. It's interesting, but would it be the same online?
Yeah.
And also, they had to come next day. Would it be interesting enough for them to come?
Mhm.
And that was one. I had done this puppet, made it myself a couple of years before that at Dhatu, which is a puppet during a course. And I rarely used Armugam because I had only one puppet.
Yeah.
And you can't do an entire story with one puppet.
Yeah.
So this was when I thought if I had a connection,
Mhm.
every week on week when they come, or the next day, when I bring him, he sets the context.
Yeah.
And it went to an extent that if one day I told them, like in the beginning, that Armugam has to wear a mask because he's cold and he does not like it, and and we both have a fight, the children really loved it. And the
Okay.
next day, the first question they asked is, I didn't take Armugam. They asked me is, does Armugam have a cold? Why has he not come? So I realized how important Armugam had become to children. And also for me, it brings the context.
Yes.
Whatever is the story, I bring that. It sets the context.
Yes.
It's entertaining. He's funny. He's naughty.
Yeah.
And I do tell that he loves stories. He loves books. He loves children. And so children are like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he's naughty. So they
Yeah.
connect with him.
Yes, absolutely. And I
So-
think it's very attractive. I think the minute you bring him out, all the children's attention is going to be
Yes.
on Armugam and the story.
I did a session for 12th standard children, and I was not sure if I should take him because 12th standard. So I just bought him and said he is like my alter ego. He tells what I want to do, what I cannot say, I bring it through him. But they loved him so much that at the end of the session, they were like, "Can we hold him? Can we touch him?"
Oh, wow.
So I've seen when children take this, it gives them the confidence that they didn't have. They can
Yeah.
become that character.
Nice.
So I think puppets have that, and I'm not telling the whole story through him. He's just setting the context, and then he's sitting next to me and listening to stories.
So he travels with you to
He
corporate
travels
events.
everywhere.
Okay. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Good. Lovely.
So
That's
he's now
really
here
nice.
with me listening to the
Yes, yes, the
podcast.
podcast. Can you share a moment where you have seen that a story that you have narrated has truly impacted your audience, like a child or an adult? What was your aha moment?
There are many, but we did there was a storytelling session. I would rather call it a workshop for students, college students,
Mhm.
degree students in Tamil Nadu, where they introduce art of storytelling as a part of their curriculum. Mostly for degree students in government colleges.
Mhm.
And when we did that course, it was like a 40-hour session. Every week we would go and tell the stories. The college that was given to me was from Vellore. And the students who came there were all from rural areas. And most of them worked in the afternoon. This was just a part-time, not from well-to-do or elite families, really underprivileged students, but they were all in the final year of degree. So the first day when I went along with a friend of mine who's also a fellow storyteller. When we went there and we just asked them their names, can you introduce yourselves? They were they were very shy to even tell their names. They're like, ma'am, enakku vayithu valikkudu, meaning I have stomachache or I fever. I'm like, you have to tell your name and you are, telling
Exactly.
and then we did the course and we got them to tell stories. And on the finale, they actually performed. And when
Wow.
they performed, for
Yeah.
them, they'd never seen something like this. Most of them, the girls were either working in medical shops, beauty parlors in the evening. They haven't seen, they have not been on stage, they have not spoken. but we gave them a history. They were history students, a history theme, and when they enacted it on stage, when they shared those stories, they came back and they had tears in their eyes. They said, I couldn't tell my name on stage. And today we're able to enact out a whole thing. I get goosebumps even now. So that is the kind of, I think one aha moment that is really
you have instilled confidence in them through your stories, and
they were able to tell it on their own.
That is such a proud feeling, actually. That is really nice. We underestimate the impact that stories has on people. We always relate stories to little kids. Right? When we say storytelling and we say, let's listen to a story, the first thing you would think is that it is for kids and it is not for adults. But
it's across. Because when I do a lot of sessions for adults as well, we call it Twilight Tales. Again, with another friend of mine called Pooja Saga, we get people around. It's a cozy thing. We share stories and we discuss it. It's like, hey, I didn't expect that character to turn out to be this way. And it's such a pleasure. Because people come and tell us that is the only 1.5 to 2 hours when we haven't looked at the mobile.
And I think subconsciously you're learning a lot of things as well. Right? And it comes out when you are, going on with your daily life. It kind of.
I think stories, you're not being preachy, but you connect somewhere.
So that said, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. There's a lot of positives to the story, but has your story ever been misunderstood? Or, the message that you're trying to give is not the message that has been absorbed? Have you had any situation like that?
No, luckily.
Okay.
That hasn't happened. No. Only like I told you, where we have misunderstood the audience. Sometimes, that could happen. But stories, no. I don't think so. Because in my case, like I said, we have set the context. I have done a lot of research into what is the topic, what is this one. So rarely. I don't think so. I can't remember of an incident where
that's good, actually. That means you are doing, something right. Great. So, what is the process that you go through for preparing for a story to be narrated? Like, what is your behind the scenes?
So, the first thing, as I said, is the topic. If there is a topic or if there is a theme, the audience. I think selection of the right story is half the battle won. Because no matter how well I might tell, if the story is, the content is not good, it will not work.
So how do you work with corporates? Like, do they give you a theme or a...
Yes. Okay. There is a theme generally. Otherwise, it's just like motivational, keep them engaged. It could be that. So there is a theme, even with children or this one generally. Now, if it's for children, I will probably see where it is. Am I telling it a place where a performance is expected? Okay. Then it is more performance. Like you go to a festival. Children want entertainment. So there you can't give gyan and it is entertainment. At the same time, if I'm going to a school, then I'm trying to connect it with their curriculum or is something. There is some learning. Now last week at Kidzada, we did a story on deep water. So I was telling a story of a blue whale. And when I was telling them, I'm like, do you know blue whale is a mammal? And the characters say, actually the mammal has an issue because it's too big and he's grumpy about it and grumbling with his parents. And the mother says, but we are mammals. And says, does that help me in any way? We have hair. And then says, I'm not going to a beauty contest. I want to play. I'm not able to play because I'm big. I can't play hide and seek. That's the conversation. And then the mother says, we have fountains on our head. Like, we are not going to an amusement park. So as I'm doing this, children are laughing, but I'm actually giving them information that it is a mammal. Mammals have hair, they are not born out of eggs, they come out as babies, they have this, they sing. So somewhere you're also giving them information.
Correct.
Which will stay behind. Yes, the fun part is there, the puppets are there, the story is there, the moral science is there, but there is also some message. There is some learning that is happening without being aware. So I try to make it as much as possible fun, fact and fiction.
Wow.
So
nice. Fun, fact,
and fiction. So if you're doing a story on Ramayana, it could be Valmiki, how he wrote. He sees that bird, a saurus. So we went and on to explain what is a saurus bird
Yeah.
and how it comes, the
Yeah.
bird, everything. So there is a connection.
Yeah, yeah.
Children
Okay.
get that.
Absolutely. They relate. I think they remember the whole animation and the whole,
Yes.
the way you're delivering the story with your props and everything.
Yes, yes.
And it makes an impression.
Yes.
And it stays.
And there's some information.
Yes.
There was a king. He was from Rajasthan.
Yeah.
And in Rajasthan,
Yeah.
so I'm giving a little bit of a Rajasthan.
Yeah.
He was from Punjab.
Yeah.
Amritsar,
Yeah.
So you are bringing in a little of cultural element, you're bringing in a little this one, you have the Golden Temple.
Yes.
He stayed, Vikas Khanna, he was from this one, so he stayed near the Golden Temple. So I'm bringing in a little bit of general knowledge without
Yeah.
making it obvious.
Oh wow, that is really nice. And I think everybody likes to hear real stories, like you
Yes,
mentioned.
yes,
What
yes,
has
yes.
really happened.
That was a surprise for me because in my book club, when we were doing stories, at one point I decided to take up biographies. And
Okay.
there are lovely books that I have to say, Indian fiction,
Okay.
modern Indian fiction. I'm not even talking about the older ones.
Mhm.
Current Indian modern fiction is really wonderful. There are
Okay.
such small books, picture books about anything under the sun.
Yeah.
So I took up biographies. They were beautiful biographies.
Yeah.
And we did this episode, this whole month on icons, such as, say, for example, we did a space theme.
Okay.
So we started with Neil Armstrong, then we did Sunita Williams. Now I think Sunita Williams will be a big story.
Big story.
We did
to tell,
Sunita
yeah.
Williams, and we did Kalpana Chawla. Now, when I did Kalpana Chawla, it was online, and I was showing them a reel from from NASA where they actually lose contact with Kalpana Chawla, and they spin drop silence. And the kids, they had tears in their eyes. Till then, they were like, "We want to be astronauts. We all want to be this, that," and they just said, "Ma'am, this is not fair." But they were so eager. What happened and this and that. That session, I don't think they'll ever forget that session.
Yeah.
It was, and then I realized, if told interestingly,
Yep.
biographies, they were more interested. They were like, come with more biographies.
Yeah.
So the kind of biographies we have done, and luckily there are fantastic books. There are really good picture books. Picture books. I'm not even talking about novels or picture books, biographies. Big hit.
Wow.
Always.
Yeah, I think that is very interesting, and I think kids nowadays should read
Yes.
those
Yes.
biographies, especially if it's picture books. They can relate to it,
Yes.
and they should understand that every story does not have a happy ending. Also, you, as a parent, as an adult, as a child, you should be in that position to accept that it's okay.
Yes.
Things may not work as
Yes.
we expected.
Yes.
Everything may not be very happy and
Yes.
rosy, but
Yes.
it's okay, and that is part and parcel of life, and we need to learn lessons from it and move on.
Yes. Not be judgmental.
Yep.
See things. Yes.
Yeah, nice, very nice. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the biographies are the inspiration to a lot of the stories that you're narrating.
Yes. Lot of biographies that I do.
Yeah.
Of course, I add elements, like you said, what
Yeah.
is the process of my story?
Yeah.
So you take that, how do I make it entertaining?
Yeah.
How do I add elements? I personally am a very visual person.
Yeah.
So for me, I have to create the scene of the story. It
Yeah.
helps me. That is how.
Nice.
So I'll probably add those elements and make it sensorial, where there's an element where they can hear, they see, when they can feel, when they can touch. And then in the end, you bring about that this is a real story.
Yes.
So it works.
Yeah.
So that's the process. For me, scripting is very important.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time on scripting the
story.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you like stand in front of the mirror and try and narrate the story, or did you
I do.
used to do it initially?
Initially, but I think I still do. I
Okay.
still do because we storytellers sometimes tend to be very exaggerated. so I know if I'm overdoing, I know. When I look at myself, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
So yes, I do, and then you realize where you're, where you're going wrong. And sometimes now that you have Zoom or you have those, it also helps if you record a few. You'll know the ups and downs of your voice. Is it, especially when you're doing it for adults, you tend to, if there are sad parts, you tend to lower your voice. And I am in the zone. I'm telling, but the person in front of me is not able to hear because I have literally gone into a whisper.
Okay.
Which is good, but not practical.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they can't hear. So all this, when you record or when you do it in front of a mirror, it
Mhm.
really helps.
And that's a great tip there. Actually, it's not just for storytellers, but even for children of any age group. If you're preparing for something,
Yes,
if you're preparing
yes,
for a
yes.
talk, it's good to just record what you're going to tell
Yes,
and revisit it and
yes.
analyze.
You know whether your pronunciations are right. You know where you're overdoing it.
Yeah.
Whether your body language is okay.
Yeah.
You know, like I might say, once upon a time there's a king. Yeah. If I say once upon, I realize that I might not. The body language is not working.
Correct.
Now I was with the airline industry for so long.
Mhm.
That smiling is inherent.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're always smiling. And sometimes I notice that even when I'm telling something which is a little sad, that smile is still there.
Constant.
It's there. It's a constant. I'm feeling it, but it does not come on my face. So
Okay.
I have to be conscious of that because in an airline industry, in a customer service thing, you smile regardless of it.
Exactly.
But here, I have to be in the character.
Yeah, you're.
So all that helps when you're looking into a mirror, when you're preparing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. That's lovely to know. And a lot of people probably think that it's only at the initial stages that you need to do that when you're choosing storytelling as a profession. Who is your? You've read a lot of stories, biographies, and also fictional stories. Let's talk in terms of kids. If there is a character that you would like to bring to life, who would that be and why?
I think that would be a difficult question, but just for the child in me, I would say Harry Potter, and I'm sure everybody would agree.
Yeah, I would love to meet Harry
Yes,
Potter.
Harry Potter. But yes, I think every character that is for me when I'm reading it, every character comes alive.
Yeah.
For me, that character is in front of me. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Especially as a storyteller, if that character is not alive, if I don't believe in that character, it doesn't work for me.
Yes.
Right? I have to. So I remember, if I have to say, I remember a teacher once saying, there is a rose. And we all looked up, and that's my first, if I go back to it, I think that was a lesson. And we all looked up because she believed that rose when she's looking up that rose. So I always say, exactly. So for me, every character, it's not fair to say that one character should come to life. Every character that you have read, for that minute that I'm telling a story, he's alive.
It's alive. Yeah, and I think with your expressions and with the way you, narrate the story, it does come to life for a lot of children and adults, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is the most funniest incident that you can probably recall in all your years of expertise?
Goof ups. I think today I am telling all about goof ups. So you see, there was this Christmas session, and we had lots of kids, some 80 to 90 kids and parents, a full hall. And I was telling a story about a cat, that plays around in the night, and its tail gets caught into something, and the fire gets lit, and the whole place is burning down. So he escapes from the window, and as he's running around, there is something that is caught onto his tail which has fire.
Okay.
So someone calls the ambulance, the fire engine. And when that fire engine, that whole this one is coming in, vehicle is coming in, I wanted a friend of mine to give the ringtone of those alarm bells, that fire engine sound. And she had a couple of songs to repeat. She played the jingle bell. So here I'm doing, and then the fire alarm is going on, and then the jingle bell. So for a minute I was stunned, and then I immediately said, "You see, this is Christmas time, so even the fire engines had a ringtone."
That is a wonderful twist.
And it so happened the children were like this. The parents knew, of course. But yes, so these are the kind of things that keep happening.
Yeah, but that's funny. It's not a goof up. It is fun, and
and how we had to kind of change at that moment.
Yeah.
There was also when I was doing at Rangashankara also, and there's the story of a king who loves his mustache. Asha Nehemiah's Raja's mustache. She was there. The whole it's a house full, and so the different people are coming to help him with his mustache. And when that happened, I make it very interactive. My sessions are very interactive. So I was asking the children if they could come up with ideas how to rectify the mustache. And someone said fake mustache.
Okay.
I'm like, no, but the king wants a real one. And then, someone had to get me something through which I rectify that mustache. And that person, which is the same friend who bungled up the mustache, she got fake mustaches because she heard that comment as fake mustache. She's behind,
The
she didn't.
scenes.
So in the end of the program, I was distributing fake mustaches to all the children. She got that tray. I'm like, no, fake mustaches will not do. Just because he said you got it, now go away. So you're fed up,
Yeah.
But it was funny. Yeah, some people came to know about it.
I think this friend of yours has really created some lovely moments in your storytelling experience.
So that also is a lesson that you can't rely too much on a third party. They're there to help you, yes, but sometimes these things can happen.
Can happen, yeah.
Yes.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's
okay.
fun.
Yes, it's also a
It's
lesson
fun.
for us that it doesn't have to be perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
okay.
How do you see these stories shape the way that the children see the world? Like any
See, what
experience?
happens is, as long as we expose children to really good books and really good stories, they are seeing it through that lens.
Yeah.
Gone is the time when we would say, and the moral of the story is honesty is the best policy. Doesn't
Yeah.
work. So as long as I'm sharing a story, and if I just say, she was such an honest girl, they were best friends, all I'm doing is highlighting on best and honest.
Yeah.
Somewhere it is at the back of their mind.
Correct.
So if not, it may not be apparent today, but somewhere it will come through.
Yeah.
So it will come through. All the values that you give, all the knowledge that you give, definitely will come through when the right stories are shared in the
Yeah.
right way. So
Absolutely.
definitely, it is impacting them. There is a marked difference in the children who are exposed to these good stories, vis-a-vis anything else. And they're also, because in a storytelling session, they are interacting with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
They are asking you questions, they are getting it clarified, and
Yeah.
they are like, okay. So
Yeah.
definitely it's making them better,
Yeah.
at least I feel they're more open-minded.
Yeah.
They're open to new twists and turns.
Yeah. And I think it is very important that children take the habit of reading as
Yes,
well,
definitely.
even if it is only for a few minutes a day.
Yes.
It just has to
Yes.
yeah,
And I
become-
think for that we also need parents to come forward. If you may not be aware of it, because I didn't know anything about books before I became a storyteller.
Yeah.
But take the help of people. Now there are so many people who curate
Yes.
good books, good Indian books, not expensive. They're
Yeah.
good books, and it really opens up the world.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
All
a
kinds.
great
Yes,
investment,
yes,
actually.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And there have been a lot of storytellers now in Bangalore, in everywhere, in every place.
Yes.
What do you think are the challenges that storytellers face today?
I think it's across the table, not just for storytellers, lack of attention span is the biggest thing. Not just for children, even adults, even a 30-second reel, I'm like, come to the point.
Yeah.
So it is true. So how do you grab their attention and hold it?
Yeah.
And each one has their strength.
Yeah.
I'm very visual. I use visuals. I create the scene of the story, or probably I'll use, some repetition, some rhyme, something. Like Lavanya would probably dance and sing. Lavanya
Yep.
Prasad. So each one has their strength, and how do you bring it out?
Yeah.
So, and for storytellers, they have to keep themselves updated.
Yeah.
You cannot tell the same old stories.
Correct. Yeah.
Read
Yeah.
new things, research new things, find out about good books, and then you translate it.
Oh, fantastic. That's really nice. I mean, all the insights that you have given in terms of biographies, stories for children, stories for adults, the expression that you need as part of the story.
Yes.
They're little things, but it is these little things that
That add
create
up
the
to
big picture.
whole thing. Yes,
Right.
yes. Find your niche.
Yeah.
I would tell that because someone might be good in dancing. I can't
Mhm.
dance for nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might be very good with props and puppets. You may not be.
Yeah.
Find your niche, and children will connect.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you're honest, they
Yeah.
will connect.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's really nice to know. It was really wonderful talking to you,
Thank
Seema, and I'm looking forward to a lot more storytelling sessions from you, and I am going to follow you. And if you are anywhere in Bangalore, or I think Seema also travels
Yes,
across
yes,
India,
yes,
so wherever she is, please do watch out for her and attend her storytelling sessions with Armugam is going to come along, and she is very expressive, and she brings so many props and brings a story to life, and I think it is wonderful what you're doing, and all the best with everything that you're doing. Thank you so much, Seema.
Thank you. Nice talking.
Thank you.